wrestling, like WWE wrestling, this is a big part of my life. I am a sucker for it. I watch football here and there, right? I like football. I'm a Ravens guy. And this season, where you see the upload date, this season has not been a good season. Not for my friends either. But I'm a Ravens guy, and I don't follow it like that. So don't be like, oh, how do you like the Ravens? Anyway, that's not the topic. We're not talking football. We are talking real shit, real competition. WWE. I know. Oh, then you know it's fake. Yes. Fun fact. All wrestling fans, outside of kids, know it's fake. If you don't know it's fake, it's like actually believing Superman is real when you see a picture of him. You're like, what? That guy's jacked and he's flying and shoots lasers out of his eyes? That's so cool. You know, and like someone's gonna look at you like, what? Wrestling is fake. What goes into wrestling, the athleticism and that's real. But that's not really what I'm talking about. My defense on wrestling is simply, you're not watching it for the outcomes of a match, right? It's fun to get into it. You're watching for the story that the wrestlers are telling. Because when you watch UFC, let me give an example. Because most people who don't like wrestling like UFC, or maybe let's say football, you know. So let's use the example of football. That's a little more widely liked. You're watching football and you have your team. Let's say the Detroit Lions. You want the Lions to succeed. There's this big story that they haven't been in the Super Bowl in, don't fact check me, a really long time, right? You want them to just get that big win. They deserve it. Everyone's rooting for them. Like people who aren't even like Lions fans, now they're on board. They want the Lions to win because those damn Chiefs, they just keep winning. They're the bad guys. They just keep winning. We want to see someone new. And then the Detroit Lions, they start going off. They start going good. People, their teams, you know, like if you're like a Chargers fan, right? The Chargers, they fall off. The Packers, they fall off. The Rams, they fall off. Everyone, all these teams that you want to see go, your favorite team loses. So maybe you look around the landscape and you're like, I don't want the Eagles. I don't want the 49ers. I don't want the Chiefs. I really don't want the Chiefs, right? But this is not a we hate the Chiefs video. I'm just using them as the example because they're pretty either widely loved or hated. It's a great example. So the Chiefs are the bad guys of the story. The Lions are the underdogs, the ones you want to win. And they get so far. Everyone whose teams have fallen, now they're rooting for the Lions because it's someone new, someone interesting, not that damn Patrick Mahomes, no offense to him, that damn Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift and all of them, not them, but the Lions. And then, in one of their biggest moments, the Lions lose and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Not two. The Lions don't fight the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. No. The Lions lost before they even had the chance. Doesn't that suck? That feeling of like really wanting them to win and then the wind is taken out of your sails because they lost. That's what wrestling does. They give you that feeling. Like Mike Tyson coming back for one last match to take on that bastard of the loser Jake Paul. Right? You want the baddest man on the planet to come back for one night to rekindle the fire and beat his ass, and then he doesn't. That's what wrestling does. Yes, it's manufactured and it's fake and it makes you feel things that are like rooting for a TV show, but that's what it is. It's a TV show in the guise. It's a drama. It's a story book in the guise of athletic competition. And that's not everyone's cup of tea. It's that feeling of like, I know this is fake. I know this is all staged. They are forcing me to feel a way about certain things. I don't like it. Completely okay. That wasn't to convince you, but rather to put it into perspective as to why I like wrestling. I only follow WWE. There's another show called AEW that is like it's second in terms of like the hierarchy of like the general public for wrestling. A lot of people do prefer it. A lot of people I don't. That's not their fault. I watch it. It's just there's only so much you can watch. Oh, gotta get out for a package. 1 sec. So, what I was talking about. Wrestling. Right. Anyway, let's talk about WWE for a second. What's going on in WWE at the very moment of recording? We are in the build-up to Survivor Series War Games, and my favorite wrestler of all time, Seth Rollins. He had the faction, the Vision. I'm kind of talking as if you know what's going on, but I'll kind of give these little things to help you kind of keep up with what I'm talking about. If you don't know, but you're somehow interested, because I'm such an interesting fellow. Seth Rollins was a bad guy. It's called a heel in wrestling. We call them heels, like H-E-E-L, heel. Seth Rollins was a heel. Probably at the moment, like the biggest heel, like the main bad guy. He's not like the guy that all the heroes are fighting, but he was like the highest up on the pecking order of wrestlers, right? In terms of the bad guys. He got injured. And his faction, which is called the Vision, they turn on him because Seth's the world champion, right? And they turn on him, attacking him. And even though he was injured in the match, as if you're watching closely, you could just see the moment it happened. They wanted to make you, the viewer, and in storyline, believe that it was his former teammates, being this guy Braun Breaker and another guy Bronson Reed. Yes, they are both named Braun. No relation, they're just teammates. They turn on Seth Rollins, and then commentary tells you that's why Seth Rollins is injured, because of them. Okay, then Braun Breaker is now kind of being built as this main bad guy. And they have another guy, more well-known guy, CM Punk, win the world title, the vacant world title, because Seth Rollins had to vacate it because he was injured, and that's a real injury. It's not a staged injury. They do those, but this is not one of them, unfortunately. That was really heartbreaking to see my boy, my favorite wrestler, and his team, who I really like, separate. But they had to. Things had to change. In comes Logan Paul. Yes, the guy who not owns all, but owns part of Prime, the drink, and not Amazon, but the drink, and is a YouTuber, former Disney star and Vine star. He's also a wrestler. Unfortunately, he's pretty good at it. I'm not here to tell you why you should hate Logan Paul. I don't really hate him. I don't like him. I don't really hate anybody. I try not to. But one second. I'm also working while I'm doing this, so there are moments where I have to stop talking. There we go. But Logan Paul is now what we seem to be. You need to wait till Monday for the next show. Logan Paul's a part of the Vision now. He's on their team for what is built up to be Survivor Series War Games, which the big headliner match of that show, if you don't know, is a big 5 versus 5 match. So that means Seth Rollins was replaced, and now Logan Paul's there, and I won't get Seth Rollins for a year, but instead I get Logan Paul. I don't know how I feel about it. What I am happy is Jey Uso is not the world champion. I like Jey Uso. Jey Uso is a very popular guy, but he's not a very good wrestler. He's not good at doing the moves. And he's like me. He rambles when he talks. That's not good, because I'm not a professional put paper in box guy. But, oh wait, hold on everyone. Lock in, there's a person. All right, he's gone. To finish my thought, and to finish this video, because now I've split up into 3 things. That's a lot of editing for me. I'm not an editor. I put mail. I put paper in boxes with the little doors and the flags on it. That's my job. That's why we paid the big bucks. Haha. We get paid all right. It's an okay job. But yeah, other than that, I mean, Seth Rollins injured, sad. CM Punk's world champion. Jey Uso, they're building to be the next guy. And then there's this other guy, this little guy. No, he's not physically little, but he's a little thorn in everybody's side. His name's L.A. Knight, yeah. That's his catchphrase. He is one of my favorite wrestlers, and he is just so cool to me. Very cool guy. He really makes you feel like he is a blue-collar guy, you know? He's not getting paid like $1 million to show up on TV to talk for 10 minutes on a microphone. He makes you feel like he's one of you. I like that about him. That's a hard thing to do. But it seems WWE doesn't want him to be in anything, and that kind of sucks for me. That hurts me physically because he is so good. And if you're asking, wait, but why? What do you mean? It's all staged. Why don't they just stage him to win if people like it? We don't know. There's assumptions. You know, you can make guesses that, like, he's a little too out there. He says what he wants to say. And I think that kind of unpredictability, loose cannonness to him could also be his downfall. But he likes to make statements, and not like actual, like he says statements, but like he likes to make a statement. He likes to be known. He likes to make himself feel unique. And in that case, he comes off as an asshole sometimes. But the best part about wrestling is even the assholes, it's all a character. That's not who they are. You know? That's all it is. Just characters. And you grow to like and hate characters, just like you do in any movie and any TV show. You know? But I hope he gets more. That's kind of where that is. And right now he's not. He is scheduled to compete in a tournament to see who will take on John Cena, who's retiring at the end of the year. And there's a tournament to decide who will fight John Cena in John Cena's retirement match. And LA Knight is supposed to be in it, and his opponent is deemed a surprise. And usually when WWE does that, that means it's a big deal. That guy is a big deal, and the one who's being kept hidden. And that probably means LA Knight's gonna lose in the first round. Here's hoping he doesn't, but I think he will. Well, that's all I got.